The only solution is separation.
The few particulars that make Omaha different from New York are just incidental. The problem exists because white people think they're better than black people, and they want to oppress us, and they want us to allow ourselves to be oppressed.
This is the I agree with you perfectly. This is the basic problem.
Then what do you
that
want
white
to
people think they're better than others?
I can't solve the problem. You guys pull the strings that close schools. You guys draw the boundaries that keep our kids restricted to the ghetto. You guys write up the restrictive covenants that keep us out of houses. So it's up to you to talk to your brothers and your sisters and persuade them that they have a responsibility. We've assumed ours for over 400 years, and we're tired of this kind of stuff now. We're not going to suffer patiently anymore. No more turning the other cheek. No more blessing our enemies. No more praying for those who despitefully use us. We're going to show you that we've learned the lessons you've taught us. We've studied your history, and you did not take over this country by singing "We Shall Overcome." You did not gain control of the world like you have it now by dealing fairly with a man and keeping your word. You're treaty breakers, you're liars, you're thieves, you rape entire continents and races of people. Then you wonder why these very people don't have any confidence or trust in you. Your religion means nothing. You couldn't walk around and talk to people, stand up in your pulpit on Sunday and preach nice little songs and say, now we're going to give thanks to the Lord for he is good and old Jesus be among us. As far as we're concerned, your Jesus is contaminated, just like everything else you tried to force upon us is contaminated.
Jesus, why are you white?
Because I'm a psychological tool. By creating the image of a white god, this subliminally ingrains the myth of white superiority into the subconscious minds of people of color. If white is superior, then by default, black is inferior. Thus, everything white will be considered good, and everything black will be considered bad. This makes you people more compliant, submissive, and obedient with our white dominance over your lives.
What you say is most important to you today in your personal life, in your growth and development, in your travels. Would it be Marcus Garvey, Jesus Christ, or our brother Malcolm X?
Like I said before, I'm not aware who Marcus Garvey is. I know of Haile Selassie. I'll put Haile Selassie up there with him, but I'll say Jesus.
God. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Jesus, yeah, Jesus. Honestly speaking,
Jesus.
based on everything I believe, I'm gonna go with the Caucasian brother. Jesus Christ.
Because he does everything for you.
Jesus. Jesus Christ. Jesus has been a staple in my life.
Jesus.
He's an awesome God. He's faithful. I mean, without him today.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Yeah, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
God. I'm gonna go with the Caucasian brother.
He's my savior.
Very impressive. That bit with the collar. How did you do that?
Like my saint of a mum used to say, get them young and the possibilities are endless.
When you talk about the image of Christ, it is important that we no longer ascribe to the European image of Christ. Why? Because the brain is a associating organism. It stores everything as pictures. And because it is associating, if you force feed an African child that Christ is white, because the brain associates, as that child begins to grow, the brain will associate white Christ with white people. And so if white Jesus is God, then white people must also be the gods of humanity. And so guess what? The power in the painting is transferred to the people who resemble that painting. And so it is difficult to pray to a white Jesus and not in some way feel inferior to white people. And that's why when I talk to Christian ministers, I often tell them you have to change these pictures. They say it don't matter. Of course it matters. Why do you think the European went around the world and systematically altered the image of Christ in every major cathedral, every major church, every corner of the globe? Because it is difficult to oppress a people whose image of the God doesn't look like the oppressor. But when God and the oppressor look one in the same, then the people will come to believe that the oppression was ordained by God.
This white-owned system of power and influence was not created with our best interests at heart. It's not our system, so it's logical that if we integrate and consume that which we do not produce or own, we are signing up for propaganda and conditioning that will ultimately have us maintaining the very system and people who created it. In other words, there's a psychological anti-black cost to being integrated in this white-dominated system.
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
What's your suggestion? What should be my movement? Integrate?
Yeah, equal rights in a mixed society.
In this society, where you still own the government, you still own the train station, the railroad plant, the lecture plant, these television cameras, you still make all the food, you control everything, and I'm like a leech on a dog's back. All I can do is just wait for you. I can't do nothing for myself. Integrating in your society don't mean I'm doing nothing for myself. You doing it all. I want to do something for myself. I'm tired of depending on you. You might get broke one day. Your stores might close. Your gas pumps might cut off again. I'm relying on you now. Can I have my own land and country?
So let me just show you some basic statistics from 2019. So the presidency and vice presidency, 100% white. The U.S. Senate, 91% white. I just have to point out again, the most diverse Congress we've ever had. The House of Representatives, 73% white. The current cabinet, 89% white. The governors, 98% white. Mayors, 88% white. Military advisors, just think about who we go to war with. 100% white. Federal judges, 88% white. Police officers, 80% white. The people who decide which TV shows we see, 93% white. The people who decide which books we read, 90% white. People who decide which news is covered, 85% white. People who decide which music is produced, 95% white. School teachers, 82% white. Full-time college professors, 84% white. Owners of men's pro football teams, 97% white. Owners of men's pro basketball teams, 98% white. The players, 75% black.
It's a trap! Anti-blackness is inevitable in a system dominated by our opposition. The conditioning of being integrated affects how we view and treat ourselves, as well as how we view and treat those in a dominant society. At the end of the day, it's an inferiority complex for us and a superiority complex for them. There is no winning here. We must separate and create our own infrastructure of systems that cater to our psychological and economical well-being, because this is not working for us.
Which doll is the black doll? And which one is the white doll?
That one.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and he has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Like me?
Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
So what do you think is the worst case scenario psychologically if this conditioning goes unchecked? Answer: the complete destruction of one's dignity, self-esteem, racial pride, and humanity. This is the unfortunate endgame for Black America.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Would you date black girls?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because they're disgusting.
Really?
Yeah.
Why they sleep with everybody in?
Yeah, you guys are pretty gross.
But y'all beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, I know.
God bless y'all with pretty hair.
I know.
Pretty eyes.
I know, thank you.
Intelligence.
I know.
Look at Bill Gates.
Yeah, what are they saying?
Some people say I'm nasty, some people...
Nasty like beat? Or...
nasty like you let them spit on you and shit. Like,
yeah.
For real.
So, the brothers, how do they receive it?
But I don't really like it. Like,
Yeah.
you let that white man do that to you.
Exactly, right. Do that, put up your fist black power style. Go ahead. Come on, you can do it. There you go. Say, F you, brothers. Come on.
Brother.
There you go. Atta girl. Give the white man a pound. Come on. Atta girl.
Any nigga that ever looked at me wrong, Hey, man, go that way, B. Hey, man, I'm done holding back on you niggas, man. Straight up, man. Y'all niggas better go watch Montana 301 through 14 or something, man. It's 15. I've been ballin', could've skipped college. I'm a bad boy with that big popper. 12 gauge when I headshot him, bust his head open like a pinata. Like Percy Miller, I've been body. Come find your ass like Bin Laden. I kill a clown over my guala. Don't give a fuck if it was $10. Don't trust niggas, don't trust bitches. I know these hoes like a pimp scholar. And it's MOB until the day I drop. And these stupid thoughts don't get nada. These dick riders try to steal from me, gon' feel the heat. When that lead pop 'em, I whack a bitch and then walk away with blood on my shoes. That's red bottom. Got a new gun with 2 clips. I can't wait to use it. And that bitch stick to my hip like I glued it. I hope you do trip as soon as you do it. I pull that bitch out. K9 unit, it kiss your ass good night like bang bang, that's smooches. No top, that's clueless. I'm ruthless, I do this. I'm ballin', these hoes, yeah, they all on my pool stick. And you mad at your main bitch, cause that bitch bumping my new shit. Yeah, the game foul and the ref dirty. Keep the green on me like a Jets jersey. Tell the opposition I ain't never worried. Keep the 30 on me like I'm Stephen Curry. I can see you pussy like a mini skirt. Keep talking, you gon' get it first. And the toughest what you gon' get it worse. Now go order up about 20 shirts. RIP with they face on it, had to show their ass. That semi work, yeah, they got smoke every 21st. And next time you see them, gonna be in a hearse. Always saying something, but ain't spraying nothing. When it's beef, I don't wait for nothing. If I see an op brought there, come to them shooting shit like a Z production. Got work to get out there every night. I'm talking deeper than Barry White. We gon' ride past with that iron blast and start flipping niggas like Jesse White. They catching bullets, he Randy Moss, he Terrell Owens, he Jerry Rice. And I'm a fucking monster in a pair of mics. And this 40 on me looks very nice. I roll up like a blunt. I don't lurk, bitch, I hunt. Hoodie on like a monk, I'm boys in the hood with that pump. This bitch got kicked like a punt. It usually sit in my trunk, but for today it's riding shotgun since niggas like the front. And if this nigga run and this nigga done, I'ma soak a nigga like he in a tub. These rappers act.
This is the unfortunate endgame for Black America.
Images control self-esteem. Abraham Lincoln found out very early, when you have 300 slaves on a plantation and one master, it takes a lot of work. Why don't you let them go? But don't teach them who they are. Control their history. Control their images. Then you won't have to watch it. Whoever controls the mind will also control the body.
The natural progression of this anti-Black pathology, if not checked, can potentially lead to death and destruction within our own tribe. However, there is a mirror image to this destructive mindset. It's a process of truth, frustration, and awareness. Some would call this our red, black, and green pill awakening. Once awakened to the truth, we can begin to move forward in our own best interests. There are levels to this awakening. The truth is sometimes hard to swallow. Some may be consumed with anger, fear, or even resentment towards the systems and people that kept him asleep. Finding out that you've been lied to your whole life can leave anyone bitter. I say that to say this: white America can be so blind to our plight in this country that any protest against our mistreatment can be labeled anti-white. In short, they'll call you racist for reacting to their racism. 400 years of continued trauma, no justice or compensation, and these motherfuckers can't figure out why some black folks hate them.
Americans are asking, why do they hate us?
You feel, however, that we're making progress in this country and worldwide?
No. I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. If you pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made. They won't even admit the knife is there.
So let me get this straight. You can break down, articulate, and even justify hating Brie Larson and her movies, but you can't figure out why a black person in this country would hate white people? Don't you find it interesting that they can contextualize one, but not the other? And I'm just using Brie as an example. Really? Anything that white America deems as threatening, triggering, or doesn't cater to them, they will give more credence to than black folks dealing with racism. The mental gymnastics, deflections, and gaslighting should let us know that they are not interested in changing anything. Bruh. White America can justify their fear of all Muslims because one might be a terrorist. but they don't understand Black Americans' fear of all cops because one might be a murderer. Contrary to popular belief, the collective of white America doesn't care about Black folks. If you're looking for sympathy or solutions to our issues in America, it is foolish to look towards the dominant society. They don't solve problems, they create them. Here's an example of what white Americans think of Black American problems.
This opioid crisis is a crisis. I see it every day. It's as bad as they say. It's ruining lives, it's destroying families. Sadly, you know what it reminds me of, seeing it? It reminds me of us. These white folks look exactly like us during the crack epidemic. You know, it's really crazy to see. And all this shit they talk about on the news about how divided the nation is, I don't believe it. I feel like nowadays we're getting a real good look at each other. It's wild because I even have insight into how the white community must have felt watching the Black community go through the scourge of crack. Because I don't care either. Hang in there, whites. Just say no. What's so hard about that?
To add insult to injury, they'll whitewash their hate as well as our trauma right out of the history books, then point to our trauma-ridden aftermath and call us broken. They've even exploited us in that weakened state for their own benefit. We see this type of exploitation during the Tuskegee experiments, all the way up to today's rap industry. No integrity, just anti-Black hate.
They won't even admit the knife is there.
Despite Black folks' contributions to America, whether it be wars, inventions, innovations, and entertainment, white America will continue to disrespect and sabotage our efforts. We've been at this toxic cycle for way too long. It's time for us to leave these motherfuckers alone so we can control our own destiny.
First, white children as a whole responded with a high rate of what researchers call white bias, identifying the color of their own skin with positive attributes and darker skin with negative attributes.
Show me the dumb child.
Dumb child.
Okay, why is she the dumb child?
Because she has black skin.
Show me the mean child. Why is he the mean child?
Because he's brown.
Show me the bad child. Why is he the bad child?
Because he is black.
Show me the mean child. Show me the child who has the skin color most children like. Show me the child who has the skin color most children don't like. Show me the child who has the skin color most girls want. Show me the child who has the skin color most girls don't want.
The questions that got overwhelmingly white-biased answers?
Show me the dumb child.
About 76% of the younger white children pointed to the two darkest skin tones.
Show me the mean child.
About 66% of the younger white children pointed to the two darkest skin tones.
Show me the child who has the skin color most children don't like.
Again, about 66% of the younger white children pointed to the two darkest skin tones.
Show me the bad child.
More than 59% of the older white children pointed to the two darkest skin tones.
We went over the worst case scenarios for Black America when it comes to these racial bias. At the end of the day, it came down to self-hate, self-destruction, and the need to be in close proximity to whiteness. Check out the uncut Patreon edition for its entirety. Now, we can talk about the worst case scenarios for white America. To be honest, I'm not sure if there's a worst case scenario for white America in regards to these racial bias. I will say, if these bias gives our nation an inferiority complex, it must, in kind, give white America a superiority complex. The only consequences to these racial bias I see for white America is that they tend to focus on us to their own detriment. In other words, they have their binoculars so focused on us to the point that they ignore their own nation's f***ery. Their murderers, pedophiles, and elitists often get overlooked due to their need to micromanage, blame, and gaslight our nation for their problems. Black folks live rent-free in some white folks' minds. For the white nationalists who desire to keep the race pure, I can also argue that another consequence will be cultural spillage. The thug and thought culture white media promotes can be very influential to society as a whole. Other aspects of our culture can be shared as well, and that may entice white women to be in relationships with black men. This is only a consequence to white nationalists who fear replacement and low birth rates. So yeah, that superiority complex is made of glass. It's actually a deep-seated need to bring others down for their own ultimate benefit.
White women have an inferiority complex. The Negro women have a sort of reputation for being so beautiful. We're a little jealous of them.
I guess you just envy us colored people.
That black women were there to support me and to advise me, but not to rise above or become better than me.
Why does everyone hate black people? That's simple, bro. You guys are the tallest, you're the fastest, you're the strongest, and you're the biggest. And you guys have the best voices. You guys took over the sports industry, the music industry, the rap industry. Now you guys are taking over the film industry.
I hate you! You hate losing. You're not used to fighting someone stronger than you. You little runt, you're not stronger than me!
And that's why when this black teacher was way better and more talented than me, I felt some kind of way about it.
We're jealous. I think we're jealous because we would love to be that, I think, and we don't know how to break out of the indoctrination that we have been suppressed by our entire life.
The trigger for racism, white rage, and envy is black folks living our best lives. It's impossible to coexist with a nation that wants dominion and supremacy over you. They live in a state of constant envy, jealousy, fear, and contempt, comparing their position in life to others. Chris Rock said it best.
When did white men become victims? White men actually think they losing the country. To who? It ain't us. When's the last time you got on a black cruise ship? Flew on a black airline? Get the fuck out of here. We don't got no money. We got some vodkas and a couple of record companies. White men actually think they losing the country. Do you believe? Did you see the Capitol riots? White men trying to overthrow the government that they run.
That's all I can think of for white America when it comes to the consequences of these racial bias. As you can see, it's not really harmful as the self-destructive consequences in black America. If anything, white America's anti-black racial bias is more harmful to us than them.
I really don't want to fight for black rights no more. Like, understand that I'm black first. And this is going to be RBG till I die. But I feel like all this marching, all this protesting, all this, all this commotion that we causing, rioting, whatever, is begging for attention. How many different ways do white people have to say fuck you till we get the message? Why are we constantly I feel like we begging them to like us. It's like a terrible, like a domestically abusive relationship between black America and the mainstream culture. It's like this. When a woman is getting beat on by a man, she only has a few choices. One, you stay there and you continue to get beat on until he kill you. Two, you decide to pack your shit up and leave. Or three, you finally get tired and you kill that nigga before he kill you. These are the only three choices that we have as black people. Constantly begging white people to give us favors or to like us or to treat us like human is basically begging for white acceptance, which we have learned that over time is not going to happen. I'm confused. Like, why are we so content on being, intent on being accepted? We should not want to be accepted. We should not want to be equal to them, because asking for acceptance and asking for equality is accepting the fact that we currently are not equal nor accepted. Why do you want validation from people who fucking hate you? I will never understand that. I feel like as a black person, as a revolutionary, as an activist, you are not about their life unless you are trying to build an economy and to build a financial structure and a structure within a black community that allows us to be self-sufficient outside of the white community. As long as we still go, how are you protesting instead of going to their job, making money, paying taxes? It's like you continue to participate in the very system that you're fighting against. I don't believe you. If you don't have entrepreneurial pursuits, you're not trying to get money, you're not fiscally responsible, you're not fucking financially literate. I'm confused. What are we doing?
The problem exists because white people think they're better than black people, and they want to oppress us, and they want us to allow ourselves to be oppressed.
The collective do not want this system to change. There is no winning here. It's time to separate.
We do believe in separation, standing on our own feet among our own kind and solving our own problems. And that's the only way you'll get a solution to the vital race problem in this country.
We can avoid reality, but we cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. Are we ready for real change? Because this so-called black community is currently reaching critical mass. I hope you're not expecting for this to fix itself. It's only going to get worse. So what's the plan moving forward? How are we going to correct this toxic environment? Let's get into it.
If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you enjoy my content and want to see more, there's many ways to support the channel. Check out the online store, check out the comic books, or you can make a donation or become a patron. Thanks for watching.